Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Invasion Nation Morning Show on a Wednesday. So, anyways, yeah, it's Wednesday morning, hump day, whoop whoop. So, here on the Invasion Nation Morning Show, we like to give the proper attaboys. So, we're going to give the proper attaboys to Mill Pond Salon, who helps us put this on every day. Romaine Berg helps us put this on, and the people that keep me rolling. You got Mark down there at AT&T Wireless. He is my special shout out for the week. And then I've got KJ's Quick Stop and Iams Garage in Candy, Ohio. Keep me going every single day. So, holy, look at this shit talker just fold up with people. Well, let's see. Good morning, Jerry, Chad, Don Martin, Penny LaRue, good morning. Chris Lug, good morning. Terry, good morning. Jody, good morning. Never back down, good morning. Oh, I missed a Vapor, good morning, sir. Junebug, good morning. Yeah. I think I got everybody. In case I forgot anybody. Penny LaRue, I'm not sure if I called you out this morning. Good morning. So, what is shaking everybody? We had a good night last night. Skull, good morning. Good to see you. Skull is personally responsible for me and my new phone case right here. Yep. So, and it's actually just like the old one that I used to have on my old phone. And I absolutely love these things. I don't know if they're made by the same company or not, but I don't give a shit. So, you have a lead. What do you have a lead on? Did you find me a Volvo hog? Did you find me a Volvo hog? Yeah, we like the hog. Ruger wife, good morning, good to see you. Oh, Clint, good morning, good to see you. Yeah, so I'm actually going to stop and inquire about something today. I've been passing this truck for a while now. Trans Am, good morning. Nice. Yeah, so it's a what they called a Ford Super Cab, a 1970s model. J. Joe, good morning, good to see you. A 1970s model Ford Super Crew. I don't know, it could be like a 74, 75, 77, somewhere in there, whatever. But I've been watching this truck for a while and it hasn't moved, which is a good sign. And it sits outside, which is a better sign. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna press our luck and see if we can get something happening out of here. You never know. Maybe they just want it pulled out of their yard. I could only get so lucky. Ugh. Well, I was born in '78, so I mean it might be a little older than me. It might be a '78. It might be a '79. I don't know. I did not see the front end on this truck, so I don't know for sure. I have not gone up in their yard. I have not uh, imposed myself, but I figured I better ask because you never know. Oh shit! Hold on a second. I'll be right back, guys. Yeah, I will definitely be right back. Sorry about this.
Some call me a sinner for the things I've done. Born with a heart of stone, fast with a gun. I'm here to get mine, then I'll leave this town. If you're standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tame me. Some call me a sinner for the things I've done. Born with a heart of stone, fast with a gun. I'm here to get mine, then I'll leave this town. If you're standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tame me. standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tame.
Oh, that was bad. I had a case of my ass having to talk shit to the toilet like you would not believe. Not that you care, but it was bad. Uh, so here's the thing. Uh, oh yeah, the fart pipe definitely assaulted the white throne. Or saluted, sorry. This definitely was something that happened. So before we're rudely interrupted by the asshole behind me, I was talking about a truck that I've been eyeballing, and I figure I'm just gonna go ask the guy. I mean, worst case scenario, he says, "No, I don't want to sell it." I'd be like, "Okay, I'll probably stop back on a regular basis." What are we talking about? Amazon. If you're shopping on Amazon, you need to get it to the bottom of my Twitch page and go to Amazon that way. That's how you get to Amazon. Because then Amazon gives me a kickback on whatever you buy. So, anyways, Lolly's on her way getting ready for work. Do you hear that the all the civil charges in the Garner case against the officers been turned down? Garner was the 43-year-old guy who was taken out by a chokehold by a police officer. At the bottom of my Twitch page, there is a link to Amazon. If you buy your stuff off of Amazon through my Twitch page, Amazon gives me a kickback. So, well, Amazon owns Twitch.
Oh yeah!
Rothy, thanks for the follow.
Oh yeah!
Logistics. Nice. Thanks for the follow. So, yeah, basically, yeehaw. It's like that Upchurch video. Hat forward, yeehaw. You get what it was, the shoulder boy video he did. He's like, your whole audience is like hat forward, yeehaw. So he did this little song. He's like, hat forward, yeehaw. So the Garner case out of New York is been settled on numerous levels. basically the guy, it's tough to say because they're like, oh, the officer shouldn't have used the chokehold, and I mean the guy was massive. I don't know if we can find it on here really quick, but yeah, I got it here. Did I practice my giddy up last night? No. I went to bed last night after hanging out with y'all last night. I went to bed.
It has happened again. Just 9 days after the uproar in Ferguson, a grand jury in New York City has refused to indict yet another white police officer said to have killed an unarmed black man. The incident, which involved an apparent chokehold, was captured on video and went viral. And tonight, protesters are in the streets. The president is weighing in, and ABC's Ron Claiborne is on the story.
Angry crowds tonight in the streets of New York, protesting yet another controversial grand jury decision.
I can't breathe!
Adding a new chant to the growing chorus of civil discontent across the country. Now responding to the white police officer seen here, not facing charges for holding down an unarmed black man, Eric Garner, in an apparent chokehold that is said to have eventually killed him. Protests breaking out in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Oakland, California.
Don't touch me, please. Not touch me.
Outrage sparked by this video from July.
Again,
Garner, who had been
arrest.
accused of selling cigarettes illegally on New York's Staten Island, seen here being taken down by NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
The officer apparently using a banned chokehold on Garner. The father of 6 later died. His death was ruled a homicide by the medical examiner, but the grand jury choosing not to indict Officer Pantaleo, a decision that infuriated many.
And it was over a lousy cigarette. They killed the man.
Anybody with eyes can see what happened.
All right. So I weighed in on this some years ago, and of course, as you hear, mainstream media, this is what gave things like Black Lives Matter all their power, is because you had, people, they failed to press charges again. They failed to indict. Their grand jury failed to indict. Well, let's not forget the fact that the man was deemed on numerous accounts by numerous levels of law enforcement, as well as private investigators, all said he resisted arrest. If all he was doing was selling cigarettes, I mean, we can flip the script on this. If all the man was doing was selling cigarettes, all right. If all the man was doing was selling cigarettes, why not get down? Instead, he tells the police officer, "Don't touch me." And as you can see, he was not a small guy by any means. So, I won't find out about the truck until today. So, no, that would not be an awesome dream. Nothing awesome about that, by the way. Invasion Nation doing the Giddy Up Challenge. Why don't we just do the Tide Pod Challenge? Well, let's just do the Tide Pod Challenge. I mean, I got mine. Yeah. Here's the thing. Black Lives Matter started as a good organization. They had a legitimate cause. It was called Hands Up, and it actually started over this case. But they had a good cause. You know, there was a lot of there was at times a lot of excessive force being used by police officers. We've seen it in Scottsdale, Arizona. We've seen it all across the country where excessive force has been used, okay, on a constant basis. So it brought attention to that. But the problem is when you start calling out every time a black person is prosecuted, or every time a black person resists arrest and they end up dead, you know, and you started making it, and then you come up with a list of demands for white people. Now you make it a race thing. You completely lost the validity of your cause. Jerry, that's when you know you're steeped too deep in politics. You've got Tucker Carlson there judging. He wouldn't judge, he would just analyze the entire thing. So, it'd be interesting to see what goes on, though, with that. As far as I know, everything... yeah.
As well as the condolences of Attorney General Barr and the entire department to the family for this tragic loss. This morning, I want to discuss the reasons for our decision and how we reached it. While the department does not normally publicly discuss a decision not to bring charges, we felt that this matter is an exception because it means so much to our community and beyond. Before I continue, let me say as clearly and unequivocally as I can that Mr. Garner's death was a tragedy.
I went to a rally in D.C.
For
Black
anyone
Lives
to
Matter
die
loves to harass. Yeah, I don't
under
understand that
circumstances
either.
like these is a tremendous loss. For the
All right,
family
let's
to
go. We'll
suffer
catch you
as
on the
this
flip side.
family has for too long has only compounded the loss. But these unassailable facts are separate and distinct from whether a federal crime has been committed. And the evidence here does not support charging police officer Daniel Pantaleo or any other officer
Morning,
with a
Krippner.
federal criminal civil rights violation. Admittedly, many may disagree with this decision, and that is their right. However, we hope that by announcing and explaining our decision today, we can bring some measure of closure to one of this city's more
Buy a
upsetting
t-shirt.
incidents involving the police and a member of our community.
Garner murder.
To fully
I love this. Look
understand
at this. Look at this.
how we made this
What?
decision.
All right. Look at this. Prosecutors won't file charges for the Garner murder. Never calling it what it is. Yeah. Good enough. You guys get the gist. This has gone all the way up the ladder and all the way up the ladder. What is this now? Storm Area 51. Look at this. See, it's not even a real deal. Now it's turned into a big marketing thing. Uh 19 hours ago.
The U.S. Air Force is warning more than 1 million people not to try and raid Area 51.
The Facebook page Storm Area 51 was actually started as a joke, but now officials are growing worried that people will start to follow through.
Yeah, it was almost exactly 5 years ago. A tour bus carrying visitors to the edge of the top secret military base crossed that line. The I-Team's George Knapp put this story together then about how serious the military is about its boundary.
In the 25 years since our reports first put the once unknown base on the map, tens of thousands of curious people have trekked out to the desert to take a peek. A few have tried to slip into the base and were quickly scooped up. As far as we know, this is the first intrusion caught entirely on video, and it nearly caused a shutdown of the regular tours.
Look how bright it's getting. Look at it now.
Area 51's years in obscurity ended in 1989 when news reports about classified projects at the Nevada base set off a state for UFO seekers, aviation watchers, and media. The base is still a favored location for classified military projects, so security is justifiably tight. Motion detectors, high-tech cameras, the ominous camo dudes, and warning signs which declare deadly force is authorized. The signs themselves have become photo ops, the money shot for guided outings like those operated for 15 years by Adventure Tours.
That in last August, that the CIA finally declared that it was a legitimate area military installation.
Some of them are just curious. They don't know what it's about. Other people believe that they've been abducted. Other people believe they are actually aliens and they want to go out there to hopefully get back home. We get all kinds of people.
Co-owner Donna Tryon says the typical tour includes stops at main shrines of Area 51 lore, the E.T. highway sign, the Little Ailey Inn, and the Holy of Holies, the very edge of the base itself. But there's one thing the tour most certainly does not include.
The point at which our journey must stop.
Our guides have been known to tell the passengers that, you know what, you can't go over that line, and if you step foot over that line, you're on your own.
A major mothership.
But on May 28th, it happened. Driver Dennis Ryan and his 4 passengers, all of it recorded inside and out. The video shows Ryan and group having a good time, zipping toward the edge of Area 51. At precisely the wrong moment, one of the tourists asked Ryan a question about sports books. It was just enough of a distraction that he blew right past the warning signs and kept on going. After 45 seconds or so, Ryan started looking around, wondering where the camo dudes were.
Was it a white truck on the...
Less than 2 minutes after crossing the boundary, the passengers inform Ryan that the white truck is right on their tail.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe that.
Both on each side of the vehicle, there's a gentleman that in full military garb gets out. The one on the passenger side, he had a full automatic rifle.
What'd they say? You went over the line.
You went over the line, that you are trespassing on military installation.
Inside the vehicle, the tourists, a couple from the UK and a mother and son from the East Coast, thought it was all part of the tour, actors playing their parts.
Well, we're going to let your company know that you took us the extra mile, that you put us into this situation, and they were just as much, they thought it was part of the whole process.
But they soon learned it was no act.
No, those are the men.
After Lincoln County deputies arrived, the driver and passengers were pulled out, cited for trespassing, and given court dates. The projected fine, $650 apiece, and a misdemeanor conviction.
This is absolutely unacceptable.
Co-owner Will Tryon contacted Lincoln County DA Dan Hoagie and tried to get the out-of-state passengers off the hook.
We were afraid that they would issue a bench warrant for these 4 people and turn our good tourists into criminals.
But Hoagie wasn't budging. He suspected it was done on purpose.
Your tour goes to Area 51, and your intent is to enter Area 51. And I said, Mr. Hoagie, I said, you couldn't be more wrong.
The company decided if the citation stuck, they'd close down the tours to 51, which would be a blow to the fragile rural economy. What the DA didn't know until the I-team contacted him is that the incident was on video. One look at the video and the expressions on these faces, and the DA knew it wasn't intentional. The driver has to pay, but the passengers don't.
You're going to be famous, you know that. The driver who blew through Area 51.
Great, great. No, I'm barred for at least two years now.
Lincoln County has an arrangement with Area 51. It handles all trespassing cases. The DA told us that while tourism dollars are important to the county, so is the base, which generates a lot of tax revenue. After we told him about the video, the DA agreed to drop the charges against the passengers, but on one condition, that no video recorded by the van's forward camera be made public. That camera recorded camo dudes coming from the other direction. But for the record, there were no shots of any flying saucers or secret aircraft. George Knapp, 8 News Now.
That may be the closest anyone's ever going to get is watching that story.
The guy's going, I wish that sign was bigger. One question, he was
Couple
off.
blinking lights.
Goodness, yeah, that's a great point. I don't know that people actually show up. By the way, George hasn't aged a day.
Yeah. True story. When I first moved here, I heard about that. I went out to the installation. Of course, I followed the rules, stayed back, and said, wow, that's pretty cool. Area 51 is right there. They have automatic rifles. I'm going this way.
The other direction.
U-turn.
Yeah. Hey, clear sky.
How would you like to be those guys? So, yeah. The Area 51 raid, as they call it. What do you got up here for us, Vapor? Oh, yeah. I'm not 100% sure the people who organized this Facebook event have really weighed the pros and cons storming Area 51. It's a pretty bold move. Best case scenario, plan is you get pepper sprayed. The middle case, you get shot and go to prison. Worst case, you get vaporized by an alien. There's no stopping over 200,000 from signing up, though. Someone created a Facebook page even called Storm Area 51. They can't stop us all. The plan is that people show up and basically rush Area 51 in Nevada to find out the truth about UFOs, or invitation quote says, let's see them aliens. If you have no plans, Friday, September 20th at 3 a.m. would be interesting in attending. You can join more than 200,000 who have already signed up. Yeah. How about no? Because the one thing that they didn't report is the fact that people have been shot at Area 51 for that very same thing. Because they have gone further than they're supposed to. Yeah, just dumb. I mean, this just goes to show you ignorance is in a whole new spectrum of people now. So it's like, I don't even know what to say about it. I really don't. It's some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. You know, and of course they want to put out there, oh, it started out as a Facebook hoax. Yeah, okay. It's called inciting a riot, dumbass. My question is why hasn't Facebook taken it down? This is a threat to national security. That's what I don't understand. Because now if I posted something like that, they would eliminate my Facebook page. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get to see the oil rat come out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they can definitely stop that many people. Yeah, let's see the oil rat come out. But If you don't want someone in, put a gate up. There's lots of gates. I don't know if they'll show it or not. I don't know if we'll be able to find any pictures of any part of it, but it's a pretty large complex as far as that goes. But needless to say, this is 100%. You guys won't be able to see much of this, but I mean, this thing is, as you can see, it's got security hubs all the way around it. Airstrip base. There is literally miles of fencing around this place. Not to mention the outer perimeter from the wire. In military terms, they call it going outside the wire, which is basically the camp wire. So, yeah, there's no way. Even if they did make it to the fence, which they're not going to make it to the fence. Yeah. But they're going to go be aliens. Oh, geez, but look who decides to show up late. Redneck Tech Support, ladies and gentlemen, showing up late as usual. At least he showed up. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So it yeah, it's for the yeah. There are people legitimately pushing this idea that's going to happen. So it's really, yeah, no. So what do we say? How about no? Fuck no. Not that stupid. Matter of fact, when they start seeing busloads of people pushing into that area, I really would hate to hear about the military deployment that goes on at that point in time. They would be lucky if they made it out of town. Because I know for a fact that they can get them right now for inciting a riot. I know they can do that. They can get them for inciting a riot, and that's no joke. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go down just like they were going to do this What was the other thing they were going to do? There was some big deal they were going to do last year, and people were putting it all together, and it never happened. I remember there was going to be the big raid on ICE. That never happened. There was going to be... I remember there was a storm the White House at one point in time. That never happened. I don't know. There was all sorts of dumb shit. But, I don't know. You know, dumber shit has happened. I mean, let's just face it. We've got a generation of millennial or entitled. We've got an entitled generation who thinks that they can just do whatever they want and kick and scream and they'll get to do what they want. Jeff Dunham's peanut. Oh. It'll be interesting to watch. I just want to go watch. That's all I want to do. I want to go watch. So, those of you who weren't tuned in last night, so I contacted a buddy of mine who actually contacted me first, who had his head waxed once. And he said, "You've got to be about the dumbest motherfucker in the world." He said, "You couldn't pay me enough to go through that." Oh, yeah! So, he didn't do his entire head either. He just said it was probably one of the most painful experiences he'd ever had in his life. So, yeah, we'll see. Look at this. He comes in, throws in some emojis, and has got nothing to say. Doesn't even say good morning to people. What an ass. Well, no, because we've got about, at least an hour and 15 minutes, and the head waxing part's off the table, so. But I did say it. Where is... What? Oh, and I don't even know if I could do it anymore. I used to be able to. I don't think I can do it anymore. Yeah, Undertaker was my dude. So Purple People Eater, what is shaking? So if you guys haven't heard, here, I want to...
And had my toes dip in the water.
Well, first I want to say thank you to all of you for being here today. And I want to send a message of gratitude and thanks to the solidarity that we have received from every corner of our country. From our colleagues to our neighbors, we are grateful for your solidarity, your encouragement, and your support in the face of the most recent xenophobic, bigoted remarks from the occupant of our White House.
Lady, this is our commander-in-chief, President Donald Trump. Now, mind you, this is what I was telling you all about last night. Those of you who were paying attention last night, look at the forefront of who we have up here. Look at who we've got in the forefront right now in the Democratic Party. None of these people have a double-digit approval rating right now. None of them. None of them. Oh, yeah.
I will always refer to him as the occupant, as he is only occupying space. He does not embody the grace, the empathy, the compassion, the integrity that office requires and that the American people deserve.
No, bitch. We don't deserve the bullshit that your party and your people are trying to put us through. The fact that you are trying to completely bankrupt this country, that you completely have no regard for the law, veterans, the men and women of law enforcement who put on that uniform every single day and put their lives on the line, the fact that you have no regard for them, that you think that they should walk around out there with Nerf guns and Nerf noodles and try to maintain a law that you don't believe in.
That being said, I encourage the American people and all of us in this room and beyond to not take the bait.
You've already taken the bait by having this press conference. You've done exactly what Donald Trump wants done. You've chose to stand up here on a national stage and call Donald Trump out, which now puts you in the lead, the forefront lead, okay, of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party now has your faces, the most unpopular people in the Democratic Party, the most unapproved people in the Democratic Party, now has you as their face to remind people going into the 2020 election that they do not want to vote Democrat. Thank you.
This is a disruptive distraction from the issues of care, concern, and consequence to the American people. That we were sent here with a...
Now, mind you, we have the Un-American League right here. Somebody who, when it came to money for the people at the border, this one right here, the $6.4 billion that they were trying to send down for the border crisis, she voted against it right here. I was doing it to make a statement. Because you have done nothing in your political term to represent the American people but your own personal agendas. But let's keep going.
A decisive mandate from our constituents to work on. Everything from reducing the cost of prescription drugs to addressing our affordable housing crisis.
We have affordable housing crisis in this country because of the fact that you guys hand out affordable housing. Refugees and illegal aliens get first priority over American citizens because of policies that you implemented, because of your beloved Department of Health and Human Services. Yes, you. We know you're lying. We know that you are lying.
To ensuring that the American people have more than health insurance, but health care.
Okay, let's talk about Medicare. The people on Medicare, the program in which you want to implement nationwide, Miss Socialist, by the way, very strong, very much so believes in the socialist government. Okay? All right. Let's talk about the Medicare system, which is failing senior citizens and veterans as we speak. They don't have enough money, but yet you want to put the entire United States on it. Why? Let's talk about the people that are bleeding the system dry. Let's talk about the $2 billion extorted from the IRS every year. Let's talk about the hundreds of hundreds of millions of dollars going out in healthcare fraud, daycare fraud, just here in the state of Minnesota. So, yeah, okay, keep talking.
More recently, thanks to the partnership of Chairman Elijah Cummings and the advocacy of myself and a coalition of advocates I've worked with for decades, we held the first hearing on childhood trauma. And in sitting in that hearing, as we heard about the
childhood trauma caused by you and your constituents, you and your people up on Capitol Hill. You guys caused this. Way to oppress your own people. Looks kind of like a dude. Looks like a dude with lipstick.
many manifestations and iterations of childhood trauma in the wake of the public health crisis and epidemic that is gun violence.
The public health care crisis, which is gun violence. Notice she throws that in there. This is why the Democrats can't get their health care bill passed, because they have gun violence. I told you, you fucking gun. We've had this discussion. You better quit going out there and fucking shooting people. Quit doing that. Quit doing that shit. Fucking gun. Lay around, lazy ass motherfucker, laying on the desk all day, son of a bitch. You're causing a problem for healthcare. You're a healthcare issue. Fucking gun. You too, you fucking knife. You keep your ass on the desk too, because they're coming after you next.
The wake of PTSD, in the wake of...
Oh, I'm sorry. The PTSD, as you guys have written it, some kid got yelled at by his parents or got punished by his parents, and all of a sudden now they qualify as having PTSD and disability. Get the fuck out of here.
Those battling substance abuse disorder and a host of...
Oh, substance abuse disorder. Substance abuse is a choice. I understand. Some people struggle with the addiction. But when you exonerate people from criminal prosecution in light of treatment, you say, oh, here, we'll give them treatment instead of prosecuting them. They're 97% more likely to reoffend. But why should I have to pay for this? Why should I, as a taxpayer, somebody who doesn't have an addiction problem, why do I have to pay for this? Why is this my problem? This is what I don't understand. How does this become my problem that I have to pay for? Just like those of you who want to go murder kids, those who want to go out and have abortions and murder kids, why do I have to pay for this? Why is your choice my problem? I don't understand that. I don't get that. The head waxing. Real quick, I put out a comment yesterday. Hold on here. Let me find it. Vapor, you want to post the link up, please? If you're on here, find the link for that, and we'll post that up here in a second. Give me 1 second. I'll show you.
Of other things, it was impossible not to think of the trauma that is being inflicted upon children every day at our border.
By your policies that you can change with 10 Democrat votes. By your policies in which you can change with your Democrat votes. But you choose not to. Look, she knows she's up there talking bullshit. Look at the look on her face. She knows she's up there talking bullshit.
At the end of the day, if we improve the conditions of children in a cage, they are still in a cage.
Because you put them there. This is an act in which your party put up there. Oh, shit.
And we are viscerally, vigorously, and fundamentally opposed to the criminalizing, the vilifying, the mass detention and deportation of migrant families who are simply doing what is their legal human right.
They did not do it legally, you dumb bitch. Hold on. Stupid. Look, stupid. Why are you calling me during the morning show? All right. Oh, here, let's watch this real quick first. We got plenty of commentary to do on this, but Matt, here's what's going on with this. All right.
I honestly didn't think.
And if we can get it set up soon enough, Thursday morning I have to go. I have to leave the Street Machine Nationals, but I will wait a little later. I will go in if they have time at the Mill Pond Salon. I will go in Thursday and I will get it waxed. Live on stream. So here's the deal. Street Machine Nationals is this weekend. I put a bounty out on my head for $300. Does it count towards a big goal? No. No. The big goal is for neck down. I'm willing to go get my head, all the hair on the top of my head here, I'm willing to go get that ripped off. Fuck you and your weak. Mr. Oh, I'll just shave my beard off. I don't give a shit. I mean, yeah, I want to go, but no, I'm not willing to go through all that pain. I mean, you got to remember, out of that $1,000, 500 of that goes to the lady who's doing it. So it is what it is. Yeah. And I'm not the one who put out a 45-day goal on that son of a bitch either. Should we start bountying your body hair there, Sasquatch? No, I'm not putting it towards a big goal. No. I'm not willing to go through all that much. I'm not willing to go through all that. You can call me a bitch, you can call me whatever, but I mean, no. Just not doing it. Not for I mean, I get $500 out of that 1,000, and that $500 just goes to pay the bills. So it's like, yeah, no. Nope, I'm not doing it. I've talked to people. I talked to a guy who had part of his head done, and he's like, "No fucking way." He says, "You're a fucking idiot for $300." He says, "You could." He says, "There's no way you could pay me to go through that again." So, yeah, nope. I'm good. It's not races; it's a car show. I want to go, but I'm not willing to do that. I'm already willing to endure a shit ton of pain. And now, it's just not. I want to go bad, but I'm not willing to go that bad. Basically, I'm giving up my entire body for $500. No, not worth it to me. I'm not willing to endure that for $500. So. Redneck prostitute, yeah.
And that is to seek asylum in the tradition of who we say we are as a country.
That's because we have legal means of asylum. We have legal means of asylum in ports of entry, which you can come through and claim asylum. But when you cross the border illegally at over a rate of $100,000 a month, when you cross the border illegally, that makes it illegal. That makes it a crime. And look, she's still looking at her goddamn nails. Look at her. Look at her. See, look at her eyes. Looking at, what is she looking at? She's looking at, she's like, oh, look at them nails. Wonder who does her nails.
A beacon of light and hope and of refuge. This is simply a disruption and a distraction from the callous.
Now, excuse me. Did you go through a thesaurus today to find as many words as you could use to beat around the subject? Let's face it. Let me help you out. Okay. All right. Let me help you out. When you start treating other people from other countries like they are the top priority as opposed to the people in your own country, this is what people are tired of from your party. You basically said, fuck everybody else, just give us your money so we can sit and try and figure out how to house hundreds of thousands of people who are coming over here illegally.
Chaotic and corrupt culture of this administration all the way down. We want to get back to the business of the American people and why we were sent here, reducing the cost of prescription drugs, addressing the public health crisis and epidemic that is gun violence, addressing the racial wealth gap, and yes, making sure that families...
Now, see, she just called Donald Trump racist. Okay. She called dumb, and then she wants to talk about the wealth race gap. She is one of the first, all of these dipshits are all about making this about race. Identity politics. This is what they do. That little comment that she just threw in there is exactly that. Identity politics.
Stay together. I also would like to just underscore the fact that despite the occupant of the White House attempts,
he earned his title. How would you like it if people just walked up and called you the dumb bitch in the dumb bitch in Congress? I want you to think about that. I would be called sexist, racist, and everything else under the sun because I just called you the dumb bitch in Congress.
to marginalize us and to silence us, please know that we are more than four.
No, he did not want to silence you. He loves it when you speak because you make him look very good. Checkmate. Donald Trump wins. Boss lady, good morning. Good to see you.
People. We ran on a mandate to advocate for and to represent those ignored, left out, and left behind.
That was done by your party. Thank you very much.
Our squad is big. Our squad...
Your squad is not that fucking big. All of your approval ratings combined don't make the approval rating of Donald Trump.
Includes any person committed to building a more equitable and just world. And that is the work that we want to get back to. And given the size of this squad and this great nation, we cannot, we will not.
Given the size of this squad, the four of us, because our egos are so goddamn big, they can't put us all four in one legislative session together. The size of this squad. The size of this squad. I bet you if there's a last donut, she'd beat the hell out of me to get that last donut. I bet you she would.
Be silenced. And now I'll invite Representative Omar to offer a few words as well.
All right, Ilhan Omar.
Thank you, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
With a 9% approval rating, bring her to the forefront.
That we are created equal and endowed by our Creator with inalienable rights. And yes,
wait. What did you say? I need to hear that again.
Created equal and endowed by our Creator with inalienable rights. Presley. This country was founded on the radical idea that we are created equal and endowed by our Creator with inalienable rights. By our Creator with inalienable rights. By our Creator with inalienable rights.
Hey, hold on. Hold up. Inalienable rights. The right to defend yourself, which is what the Second Amendment of the Constitution is based off of. A man's inalienable right to protect himself or his family or his property. Hold on. Hold on. Your constituent over here, right back here, this one right back here, this lady back here, just imposed on our right to bear arms. That would be a conflict of interest. That would be a conflict of interest between the two of you. The right to protect yourself, your family, and the things that belong to you. Man's natural instinct to do so, which is what the Second Amendment is based off of. Hold on, it gets better.
And yes, we have a long way before we fully live up to those values. It is for this reason precisely that we have to take action when a president is openly violating the oath he took to the Constitution of the United States.
You took the same oath. You took the exact same oath in which you have done nothing but criticize veterans who have fought their asses off and gave their lives. You have criticized the people who have died under the American flag, protecting those rights. You have also criticized everything, all of our alliances with other countries. You've continued to lie about policies that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And you continue to advocate for everybody else other than the American people, including your map drawn out of a world without Israel.
And the core values we aspire to. As
your core values, you mean driving around with your kids not seatbelted in, your kids not strapped down, you not wearing a seatbelt, you enacting distracted driving here in the state of Minnesota, but for some reason all those videos have been pulled down from YouTube?
Martin Luther King said, "All we say to America is, be true to what you say on paper."
And Donald Trump is the only president that I can find who has done everything that he's campaigned on.
I believe this is a pivotal moment in our country.
This is a pivotal moment. Pay attention. It's a pivotal moment. Pay attention. It's pivotal. Pay attention. Damn it. Wake up. It's a pivotal moment.
Salam alaikum.
The eyes of history is watching us.
That's because we're making history. We have idiots like you in Congress, but yet we still have, because of the direct orders of our president, we have reform going on in sentencing laws. We have reform going on in prison rules and laws, and we have the Second Chance Act. We also have immigration reform finally being looked at as a whole, including the border crisis being under control, the strongest economy we've ever had, the highest stock market we've ever had, and unemployment at an all-time low. Yeah, you're right. We're at an historical time, but it's not because of your dumbass.
Right now, the president is carrying out mass deportation raids across this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We greatly appreciate you for doing your job. We thank you for upholding the laws of this country. You know, the laws that these people make right here. Look at her. Look at the look on her face right here. She's like, God damn it, shut up already.
In each one of our districts. Right now, the president is committing human rights abuses at the border.
No, those human rights abuses at the border are done by this one over here. This one, if you look over here to your left, when she calls Border Patrol Nazis, which, by the way, 50% of would be 50% of this country, or our Border Patrol, by the way, in the southern border is Hispanic. The fact that she labels them Auschwitz, yeah. Oh, shit, it's coffee break time. All right, we'll be back. We'll come back to this. This is a good place to come back to. We can definitely come back to this. So go on, get your coffee. We'll see you back here in a second.
Some call me a sinner for the things I've done. Born with a heart of stone, fast with a gun. I'm here to get mine, then I'll leave this town. If you're standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tame me.
Another squirrel has met his demise. Welcome back to the Invasion Nation Morning Show, brought to you by yours truly. Yeah. Also brought to you in part by Mill Pond Salon in downtown New London, Romaine Berg in Minneapolis. Also, people that keep me going on a daily basis. KJ's Quick Stop in Candy, Ohio, Minnesota, and Iams Garage. Also, don't forget to go down and say hi to Matt at AT&T Wireless in Wilmer. Go down and say hi. And then, of course, always check out some of our favorite streamers. 30 Says, Fishing Hunting Gaming Chick, and Fox Outdoors, as well as a wide variety of others who stop in. Wolf from Custom Rods and guys like that. Mark, at AT&T. I'm absolutely happy with my AT&T service. So, shall we get back to watching the Dum Dum Show? Okay. Brett, what's happening? We're watching The Squad.
Keeping children in cages and having human beings drinking out of toilets.
Human beings, Donald Trump is personally responsible for having people drinking out of toilets. Now, those of you who don't know this story, it wasn't that anybody was forced to drink out of a toilet. The woman didn't know how to use a fountain that was mounted on top of the sink.
This president, who has been credibly accused of committing multiple crimes, including...
Hold on. Been accused. Multiple crimes, been accused. Lots of people are accused of lots of shit every single day. Just saying. I mean, you're accused of being a terrorist.
Colluding with foreign government to interfere.
Colluding with foreign government. Now, wasn't this a $40 million investigation over 2.5 years done by a special counsel led by Robert Mueller and an anti-Trump league on a fake FISA report, or fake FISA warrant? Fake FISA warrant. Wasn't he exonerated of all this? Wasn't he cleared of all this? Oh, that's what I thought.
Interfere with our election.
He was all American people outside of now the Hillary party is being exonerated of this. Isn't Hillary under investigation for colluding with foreign governments? That's what I thought.
This is a president who has...
You guys have to remember, she is a U.S. citizen. She has gotten her citizenship here in this country. Okay, she is a United States citizen.
Overseen the most corrupt administration in our history.
Oh, really? Really? The Clinton administration wasn't one of the most corrupt? She's over here like, is it my turn yet? She's like, and this one over here is like, bitch, please. You're so far out of whack. Like, they literally want her out. No, her citizenship's legit. The means in which she got there is not. Like marrying her brother, falsifying college applications, and things like that. But just like Mohammed Noor, she's become a poster child for the state of Minnesota. So let's put her up there, but this is why she has a 9% approval rating.
and pursued an agenda to allow millions of Americans to die from a lack of health care while he transfers millions.
Hold on here. Millions of Americans from lack of health care. Well, let's just Google this. $45,000. That's a far cry from millions. 45,000. That is a far cry from millions. 45,000. $45,000. This is our own representative here in the state of Minnesota. This is our own state representative.
Billions of dollars in tax cuts to corporations.
And billions of dollars of tax cuts to the working citizens of the United States. 17%, to be exact. The average American has seen a 17% increase in the money they put in their pocket.
This is a president who has said, grab women by the pussy. This is a...
And Bill Clinton got head in the White House and was known to rape children as the governor of Arkansas.
The president who's called black athletes sons of bitches.
He's called lots of people sons of bitches. Watch his TV shows. Doesn't matter what color you are. If you're a son of a bitch, he calls you a son of a bitch.
This is a president.
What about President Obama and his friends? Oh, I'm sorry. He was a good poster boy. Oh, that's right. You criticized him too. So is there anybody in America that you even like? Best tweet I ever seen about Ilhan Omar was a Muslim master. What about America do you like? Because all you ever do is complain about what is wrong.
Who has called black people who come from black and brown countries shitholes.
They are shitholes, you dummy. Why are you here? Why are you here? Because Somalia was a shithole. Somalia was a shithole, so you came here. You became a citizen here. Good night. Really? People actually fall for this shit? People seriously fall for this shit.
This is a president who has equated neo-Nazis with those who protest against them in Charlottesville.
That's because this is America, stupid. Whether we believe in what they believe or not, everybody has the right to protest. Everybody has the right to voice their beliefs and their opinions. Everybody has that right. First Amendment.
This is a president who has openly violated the very value our country aspires to uphold. Equality under the law, religious liberty.
Equality under the law, which you just said that neo-Nazis do not have that equality. So you literally Okay? Literally just contradicted yourself in 2 lines.
Liberty, equal protection, and protection from persecution.
But yet you choose to persecute Jews. You choose to persecute Christians. You choose to say that you believe in Sharia law. Which, by the way, under Sharia law, you wouldn't be able to talk. You'd get the shit slapped out of you for half the stuff you were saying. But anyways, yeah, that's a big bullshit and ass lie. You don't believe in any of that. Who the fuck wrote that for you? I see they wrote it, if you look down here, they wrote it in big enough letters to where she could make sure she didn't fuck up, using her thumbs to remember what line she's on.
And to distract from that, he's launching a blatantly racist attack on 4 duly elected members of the United States of House of Representatives.
He didn't launch a racist attack. All you dumb broads do is sit and yell about how shitty America is, how fucked up America is, and how worthless Americans are. He told you if you don't like it, go back to your country, fix the problems there, and then come back and tell us how you did it. That is what he said. You want to perceive that as racist? I would tell you the same fucking thing. And I know many people of many sexual orientation, many religions, including your own, even people from your own country, would say, if you have all the answers, go back and fix fucking Somalia so we can go home. Good night.
All of whom are women of color. This is the agenda of white nationalists.
Now he's a white nationalist. I want you guys to look at something here really quick. I want to put something up here. Nationalist. A person who strongly identifies with their own nation and vigorously supports its interest, especially to the exclusion or detriment of interest of other nations. I repeat, a person who strongly identifies with their own nation and vigorously supports its interests, especially to the exclusion of detriment of the interest of other nations. Isn't that what Americans are supposed to be? Isn't that what Americans are supposed to do? Pride in our country? Keeping our country at the top of the game? No, Matt, nobody's put up, made a fart towards the other 150. So, but nationalist. Let's see. What does it mean to be a nationalist? Loyalty and devotion to a nation, especially a sense of national consciousness, exalting one nation above all others, and placing primary emphasis on the promotion of its culture and interest opposed to those other nations and supernatural groups, intense nationalism. Okay. So apparently it is racist to be an American. Apparently it has become racist to be an American.
Attack on 4 duly elected members of the United States of House of Representatives, all of whom are women of color.
Hey. He attacks everybody. He attacks Nadler, Pelosi. You're not special, stupid. Stupid. Hey, you're not special. He attacks everyone. He attacks all Democrats, male, female, white, black, Latino, whatever race you want to call them. He attacks them all.
This is the agenda of white nationalists, of representatives, all of whom are women of color. This is the agenda of white nationalists, representatives, all of whom are women of color. This is the agenda of white nationalists, whether it is happening in chat rooms or it's happening on national TV, and now it's reached the White House garden. He would love nothing more than to divide our country based on race, religion, gender, orientation.
No, excuse me. Excuse me. That is not true. That's not true. Because only under the Trump administration have all races and religions of people succeeded. They have all benefited. So that's an absolute lie. You should do some history research into America.
Or immigration status. Because this is the only way he knows he can prevent the solidarity of us working together across all of our differences.
No, it is not. You all cause more separation than anybody else. You tell black people that white people are racist. You tell Somalians and Muslims that Americans are racist against Muslims, and some people did some things, okay, to one of the next to Pearl Harbor, one of the largest tragedies this country's ever experienced.
The only way to prevent us confronting the problems our country is facing, whether it is healthcare, climate change,
Climate change. Climate changes every day.
Debt, or our endless wars.
Student debt? Well, if your Democratic Party would stop giving fucking degrees for artsy-fartsy bullshit that has no means to making a living and having people default on their student loans, yeah. Oh, you want to talk about student debt? Quit giving out fucking loans for degrees that don't lead to jobs. Just like when you apply for a car loan. Any other loan. It has to be feasible and within your means. You know you can't afford it, work your ass off, get a grant or a scholarship.
This is his plan to pit us against one another. This is how he can continue to enrich his friends and distract us from the detrimental policies that his administration is pushing.
The detrimental policies that his administration is pushing. I mean, I don't know. More money in my pocket. I paid in less in taxes this year. I don't know. Detrimental policies. I think his policies are turning out pretty good. I think his policies have turned out very well, actually. Just saying.
Pushing forth. So we can either continue to enable this president and report on the bile of garbage that comes out of his mouth, or we can hold him accountable to his crimes. We can.
What crimes? What crimes? You keep speaking of these crimes. What crimes? What crimes? Please. I've been waiting for this. But you won't tell us either. It's all in your head.
can continue to turn a blind eye of the multiple crimes he's accused of.
The multiple crimes he's accused of. Let's see. Robert Mueller indicted how many people? He sent how many people to jail or prison? But yet Donald Trump, nothing.
We can stand while he violates people's basic human rights and the responsibility.
The Democratic Party put this into motion. The Democratic Party built prisons. The Democratic Party built these centers.
Oh, yeah!
The responsibility that his administration has for the deaths of children on our border, or we...
Well, then quit fighting and let them send them back. Process, kick their ass right back across the border and let the Mexican government deal with them, because you know what the Mexican government's going to do? Kick their ass right back across the southern border of Mexico. You guys are the ones stopping this. You are the ones stopping this.
We can take action. I have not made impeachment central to my election or my tenure. But since the day that I'd gotten elected, I'd said to people, it is not if he will be impeached, but when.
No, you said, and I quote, anything Donald Trump is for, I am against. That is what you said. Those were your words.
So it is time for us to stop allowing this president to make a mockery out of our Constitution. It's time for us.
I'm sorry, our president has been the only president in how long that is actually upholding the entire Constitution. I got some beefs with him about the Second Amendment shit that he supports, but hey, nonetheless, for the most part, he has upheld our Constitution.
Us to impeach this president. So now we're going to have Alexandria Ocasio.
I also want you, not only the little shot at impeachment, just so you guys, in case you're not catching this. Okay, this all starts out, I want to show you what is going on here. These four women who are standing up in front of the camera right now, these four women, these are the women that Donald Trump wants to be out in the forefront of the Democratic Party. Everybody knows who they are, and nobody likes them. The dum-dum who was just speaking has a 9% approval rating. Nationwide. 9%. Because of her anti-American, anti-Israel, anti-American, anti-Israel, and anti-Christian antics. Okay. What's her face here? She can't even get on a damn poll. AOC, I think, actually has the highest approval rating of them all. I think she's at like 27%, which is not enough for her to get reelected, by the way.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Dumb and Dumber.
I'll try to keep things as brief, I guess, as I can. But who knows when I get on a roll, right? When I was a little girl, my father
Notice
took
she's
me
the only
to
one who doesn't have a
reflecting
written
pool
speech,
here.
so this ought to be good.
We were on a road trip from New York to Florida to visit family. And I've told this story before, but it was my first time
Then why are
ever
you telling it
visiting
again?
Washington, D.C. And it was my only time visiting Washington, D.C. for years, if not decades. And he rested me on the side of the reflecting pool and had my toes dip in the water. And he had me look at the Washington Monument, had me look at the Capitol, had me look at the entirety of the capital of our great country. And he looked at everything and he pointed to all of it and he said, this belongs to all of us. This belongs to you and it belongs to me. And so the first note that I want to tell children across this country is that no matter what the president says, this country belongs to you.
And you are trying to fuck it up. The Green New Deal. Okay, let's talk about this. The Green New Deal. Her proposed green plan, which there's not enough money in the fucking world to fund. Not to mention, it creates no economics for the world anywhere. None. It puts us trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars even further in debt. Talking from the woman who, her first month in office, could not afford to move to Washington, D.C. because she had to wait for her first paycheck, but now takes a private jet back and forth from New York to Washington.
And it belongs to everyone. And to...
No, bitch. You're wrong. It belongs to the citizens of the United States of America. It belongs to the citizens of the United States of America.
Today, that very notion was challenged. This weekend, that very notion was challenged. So I am not surprised when the president says that 4 sitting members of Congress should, quote, go back to their own country, when he has authorized raids without warrants on thousands of families across this country.
Excuse me. Let me help you out, stupid. I want to help you out there, dum-dum. All right, here, let me help you out. These people were already court-ordered to be deported, to go back to their countries. They were already ordered to do this. But you don't believe in the law, do you? You don't believe in the law one bit. They were already ordered by a judge to leave. They don't need warrants. They have court orders. It's like a sitting bench warrant, but only their bench warrant says you have to leave now.
I am not surprised that he uses the rhetoric that he does when he violates international human rights and takes thousands of children away from their families. I am not surprised that he has turned our public education system under the leadership of Betsy DeVos into a cash cow to enrich himself and his friends. I am not surprised when he corrupts.
Coming from the woman who refused to send money down for relief to the border, coming from the woman who kept Amazon, who led this big raid against Amazon coming to New York, which cost New York thousands of much-needed jobs. Okay. I mean, everything she's done economically, everything that she's proposed, would ruin the entire infrastructure of the United States.
Via the Secretary of Transportation. I am not surprised at what he's doing. But I also know that we're focused on making it better, because we don't leave the things that we love. And when we love this country,
you don't love this country, bitch. You're trying to ruin it.
That means is that we propose the solutions to fix it. We love all people in this country.
No, you don't.
That's why we believe health care is a human right. We love all children in this country.
Excuse me. So you're telling me that you can enslave doctors and healthcare professionals? You can enslave them. Basically, you don't give them the freedom of choice because you believe it is a human right.
And because we do, that's why we fight for education for all children through college. And so we'll stay focused on our agenda, and we won't get caught slipping.
Oh, yes, you will, because you already slipped. You already fucked up. You fell right into the plans of Donald Trump because he wants you fucking dummies in the forefront of the Democratic Party. Why? Why does he want you in the forefront of the Democratic Party? Because you were the most unpopular, most un-American people that Congress has ever had in there. Your polls, your statistics, and your comments prove it. You're doing exactly what he wants you to do because you, Miss I'm so in tune with other races, calling Border Patrol a bunch of Nazis, and by the way, who is over 50% Latino, who work for the Border Patrol, but calling them Nazis and saying that they are running an Auschwitz-style concentration camp. Just saying.
Because all of this is a distraction. It's a distraction from what's most important and from our core values.
Because in the time that they were doing all this, guess what Donald Trump did? He passed a new asylum bill. Now you have to go through another country in order to come to the United States.
As American citizens. And with that, I'll hand it over to Rashida Tlaib.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to my sisters in service. Thank you all so much for being here. As we all know, the recent tweets and words from the president are simply a continuation of his racist and xenophobic playbook. We cannot allow these hateful actions by the president to distract us from the critical work to hold this administration accountable to the inhumane conditions at the border that is separate.
The inhumane conditions that you all continue to fight, you can change with 10 votes. 10 votes. 4 of you right there. 4 of you. You could change this right now. You could change this. It is your choice. You could change this, but you choose not to.
Separating children from their loved ones and caging them up in illegal, horrific conditions. I represent the third poorest congressional district in this country, one that is made of working people who have been targeted by this administration, and their actions and words are hurting them today.
Coming from the same representative who voted in an already poverty-stricken state of Michigan, who voted to raise the taxes of Michigan taxpayers, to continue to tax them, to get in line, and I quote, to get in line with California, who, by the way, is losing thousands of people a day. They are losing, California is quickly losing their tax base.
I was elected to fight for them, fight for the 13th congressional district. They sent me here to Congress to fight back against the corporate assault and the corruption in our country.
Hey, stupid. They're not sending you back. They've had enough of your shit.
This means supporting an impeachment inquiry of this president and his actions by the administration and his appointees. Sadly, this is not the first, nor will it be the last time we hear disgusting, bigoted language from the president. We know this is who he is, and we know.
That's why one of his top advisors of Trump Company was a black woman from Chicago who raised herself out of the ghetto, put herself through school, and made it a point to make a better life for herself.
That he and his administration are constantly engaged in actions that harm residents and American people in our country. Many members of Congress have called for his impeachment because of his utter disregard and disrespect of the United States Constitution. And
no, his utter disrespect for an idiot fucking Congress who's done nothing but proven that they are anti-Trump. They misuse power. They misuse government resources to promote to continue to promote their own agendas, including yours.
Despite this and other many attempts to distract us, I remain focused. We remain focused on holding him accountable to the laws of this land and accountable.
But none of you have spoken to any laws he's actually broken. Not a single one of you.
To the American people. I urge House leadership, many of my colleagues, to take action.
Oh, another shot at Nancy Pelosi.
Action to impeach this lawless president today. And now we'll take 2 or 3 questions. Mary, we'll go.
Hold on a second. I want to point something out. Every time they've taken Donald Trump to the Supreme Court has upheld Donald Trump's decisions. Huh? The Supreme Court has upheld all his decisions. Apparently, he must be doing it legally.
First. The president today said that many people agree with him and support these comments. I'm wondering if you can speak directly to those supporters of the president and explain why these comments are so harmful and hurtful. And on a personal note, if you can discuss the consequences and impact of these comments. Have you had to...
So basically, this is what has happened. Donald Trump has played the fiddle because the new asylum policies are in play. They're not making the news, so nobody's really grabbing a hold of them. This has been a giant distraction. He has now also put these 4 women at the forefront of the Democratic Party, which makes them look absolutely shitty going into the election. Okay. Because all you've heard is criticism of these 4 women and the policies that they voted against about helping out on the border. Most of these women are criticized for never even going down and lifting a finger to help on the border, other than to go down there and rant and make bullshit speeches. False accusations. This is what our country has come to. They're attacking Nancy Pelosi. They're attacking Donald Trump because Nancy Pelosi just does not want to. She knows that by going through the impeachment process, it is political suicide for the Democratic Party. Donald Trump attacks everybody equally. When you're an idiot, Donald Trump attacks you. It doesn't matter. All right, Jody, we'll catch you on the flip side. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Donald Trump will attack everybody equally. Period. He went after old Nadler's Nadler. Oh, going through the impeachment process is political suicide for the Democrats because the American people don't want it. The approval rating in the president is at an all-time high. Now, mind you, at this time last year, President Donald Trump was never even supposed to get the Republican nomination. That his announcing his run for presidency was a fucking joke. All the way to the night of the election, Hillary Clinton was supposed to win by a landslide. But because Donald Trump reached out to the people who had not had a voice in this country in decades, that Donald Trump put the working people first, the backbone of this country. He didn't separate them by race or gender or religion, any of those things. Donald Trump simply said, you are a contributing member of the American people or American and its structure. You need a voice, and I want to be that voice. When Donald Trump's employees come out and say, this guy used to come down on the fucking work job sites, would come to the job sites and come and talk to us. When we had issues, he would come talk to us.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah. Look at there. Sprite173. Please explain to me what a do you have any clue what a concentration camp is? Please explain this to us. Do you have any idea what a concentration camp is? I've had the privilege of talking to Auschwitz survivors. You don't have a fucking clue. You don't have a clue. So why don't you take your Communist News Network commentary and go sit somewhere before you hurt yourself? Oh, you could have let him ride for a little while, Vapor. I wanted to see him respond. That's all right. Let's get some pink helmets rolling for Sprite, though, in his Communist News Network. Communist News Network commentary. Oh, I wouldn't mind hearing it. I don't mind listening to trolls. I love the fact that now, because kids are not taught the truth in school anymore, how easy it is to throw out the term concentration camp. Okay. Because of the fact that they will never understand how horrific see, this is the picture they like to show you in comparison. This is the one they like to show you in comparison, but what they don't show you is this. They don't show you that. Hell, even Google's taking most of them down. Here. Look at that one. Look at those guys. Small cup of rice a day. Glasses. How about this one? This is Auschwitz. This is a concentration camp. Here, how about this? No mattresses. 3 and 4 people strapped to a bunk. And if you couldn't work, you were killed.
Oh, yeah!
These people will never have a fucking clue. The fact that they would compare what is going on in the border to fucking Auschwitz. These idiots, these ignorant sons of bitches. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. We didn't play your video. Bleeding Soul, what's shaking? Good to see you. you know, this better be a good video because you don't understand what I have to go through to make all this shit happen. And it better be on
It
subject.
says the official recommendation. There were 3 different options presented. The third included the option for family separation. This initiative would pursue prosecution of all amenable adults, including those presenting with a family unit. Mr. Holman, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
Yes, they are.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Damn!
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Yeah. Want to seek asylum? Do it legally. No, I'm pretty sure she has not. So, anyways, just so y'all know, yeah. She struggles to understand and here's the thing. Donald Trump played a game. Donald Trump wins because they fell into it. Donald Trump played a very good game, a very strategic game, okay? And basically what he wanted to do is he wanted to take the attention off of getting his new asylum policy. Getting his new asylum policy posted up, okay? Wanted to getting his new asylum policy posted up and done, which he did, by the way. He did that very well because it's not making front page news. Nobody's seeing it. It didn't make front page news anywhere. What made front page news? Donald Trump versus the Squad. Did exactly what he wanted to do. All right, get this one up and going.
much.
Nazi Germany. That's what they're saying. That's the party's new message. Is that a message Democrats can win an election on? We're about to find out. John Kennedy is a Republican senator representing the state of Louisiana, and he joins us tonight. Senator, thanks very much for coming on. So the idea appears to be that if you call enough people racist, you can get elected president. Do you think that works?
No. And I think the American people are getting a little tired of it. I hesitate to contribute to this freak show, but I'll offer you my thoughts, Tucker, for what they're worth. I don't think President Trump is a racist. I don't think his original tweet was racist. I think it was a poor choice of words, which is why he clarified. What he has said now in clarification is that this is not China, this is America. And in America, if you hate our country, you're free to leave. Now, he said that in response to the behavior of the 4 congresswomen that you're talking about, the so-called squad. I'm not sure the president should exchange playground insults with them. You know, when you try to argue with a fool, that proves they're two. But the president decided to do so. The simple fact of the matter is that the 4 congresswomen think that America was wicked in its origins. They think that America and its people are even more wicked now, that we are all racist and misogynistic and evil. Now, they're entitled to their opinion. They're Americans, but I'm entitled to my opinion, and I just think they're left-wing cranks, and they're the reason that their directions on a shampoo bottle. I think we should ignore them.
I wonder, though, if we can ignore them. I mean, the Democratic Party has made a decision to embrace and defend these 4 members. And by doing that, it's basically taken ownership of their positions. And those positions will define the political season we're now entering. And I just wonder if that's not, as a political matter, a massive mistake. Is there a huge constituency? Is there a market for these ideas in America?
Well, there's no question that the so-called squad has moved the Democratic Party substantially left. What I was referring to, Tucker, is, I guess, rule number 1 of political combat. Never interrupt your opponent when he's screwing up. Just let him screw up.
Yes.
And they are destroying the Democratic Party. It's just, I'm appalled that so many of our presidential candidates are falling all over themselves to try to agree with the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse. Now, they're entitled to their opinion.
The 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse.
I'm entitled to say that they're whack jobs.
Can I ask you one question quickly? So you represent a state where there are a lot of conservative Democrats, including, I would argue, your governor. You know a lot of Democrats. I know that you're friends with some. What do they think of this? What do they tell you in private about all this?
They're embarrassed by it. They don't want to talk about it. They're embarrassed that this is dominating the discussion in Washington, D.C. right now, this freak show, when we have so many other issues to be talking about. And look, I've told the president before, I said, Mr. President, tweeting less would not cause brain damage. But he has decided this is the way he wants to communicate. And I do not believe his original comments were racist. I do not believe he is a racist. And but if the Democrats want to continue to pursue this line and say that America is a wicked country and it was wicked when it was founded and it's even more wicked today and we need to tear it down and start over, I don't think the American people believe that. I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
No. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana. Great to see you, Senator. Thank you very much.
I would be embarrassed too. Yeah, here's the thing. By the way, shout out Fuzzy. Thanks for showing up. y'all want to watch some lure making, Fuzzy hosts a program on Tuesday nights, also called Tackle Box Tuesdays. They talk fishing. They get to know people of the fishing channel. And I've got to meet a lot of really good people in there. Hopefully one day I'll get to travel around and go do some fishing with them. So, that being said, yeah. These, again, there's a new asylum policy that has been passed. Not even making the news. It's not even making the news. Donald Trump is the ultimate fucking strategist. Ultimate strategist. Because they're more worried about the squad. And now the Democrats have the squad representing them. Hurry up, look, we got something. Donald Trump's racist again. You guys already did this, and you lost. And he doesn't care. The guy's going to get reelected no matter what you do. You should be worrying about your own elections. You should be worrying about what your actual constituents want. You should be worried about the fact that right now your approval ratings in your districts are absolutely horseshit. From what I've read so far, they literally have to go through another country before they're coming here. We will be their second choice. Basically, they have to go to another country and go through there and
Oh yeah!
I'll be honest with you, truthfully, I could see we're probably gonna see for the next 4 years from 2020 to 2024 a pretty much Republican controlled House unless the Democrats put somebody up there. Oh yeah, that new asylum policy went through. That's done. They have to be. Hell yeah. Of course they would. Here's the thing. These people, here's, and hold on. Here's the thing. Mainstream media and these people in Congress want the American people to believe that Donald Trump is an idiot. You're talking a guy who was bankrupt in the late 80s and early 90s who brought himself all the way back out of it. You know, I remember when Jesse Ventura was governor here in Minnesota. Jesse Ventura caught a shit ton of criticism because he ran as an independent party. Okay? Jesse Ventura caught shit because he was touring around as the governor with WWE wrestling. Okay? I want you to remember this. Here's what Jesse Ventura did. The WWE wrestling was going all over the world. Jesse Ventura was flying around the world on the WWE's dime, promoting Minnesota businesses. Promoting all Minnesota businesses. That's what he did. His big whopping 10, 15 minutes on the stage there in WWE, he'd be out of there and he would be doing stuff for Minnesota. And he caught criticism for it. You have the big economic countries of the world all reaching out to Donald Trump to make deals. Canada making deals. Mexico making deals. China wanting to make deals. England wanting to make deals. Germany wanting to make deals. Russia wanting to make deals. Do I need to keep going? Everybody wants to deal with America right now. And Donald Trump, and they know that Donald Trump is not allowing America to be taken advantage of anymore. it didn't even need to be voted on. Immigration Services Department passed it, similar to the one last month about ineligibility for gang attacks for U.S. asylum. But the thing is this. You've got everybody, it's Trump was designed to piss off the left. Elon and AOC were designed to piss off the right. All of them are actors, politics, and a giant shit show to distract you, to make you hateful of your neighbors. I don't hate any of my neighbors. Ilhan Omar's from my state. She's from Minnesota. I don't dislike her as a person. Okay? I don't dislike her as a person. I think she was sent there to represent the state of Minnesota, and that's something she has not done from day one. Her first tweet from office was, anything Donald Trump is for is I'm against. That is not the feeling of the mass majority of the state of Minnesota. Geographically, Minnesota voted for Trump. But the highly populated areas voted for Hillary, so that's why we're considered a blue state. Had it been an electoral college system here in this state, Donald Trump would have gotten, and that's kind of the way it would have been nationwide. So, the truth of the matter is this. No matter where you stand in politics are extremely hard. Politics are extremely hard because we know that all politicians are bullshit. The reason I believe Donald Trump is not bullshit is because of the fact that he's not a politician. And he's very well informed about politics. It's like Ronald Reagan, who was an actor before he was a politician. Did his research. Made very, very well informed. Made very, very well informed policies and decisions. Barack Obama campaigned on border control, immigration reform, and won. Donald Trump did the exact same thing and is now hated. The very people who stood behind Barack Obama in his speech in passing new policies. Donald Trump's policy is $6 billion. Or $8 billion. $8 billion total in reform. And building the wall. Barack Obama's, I think, was like 16, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was like $16.4 billion. How is it that a businessman in office can do more for less than our former president? He simply wants to close loopholes. He said, let's close the loopholes first and then redo, then let's reform and basically tear down the immigration setup as it is and redo it. Rework immigration to modern times. Mind you, the United States makes a little over 1 million citizens every year from people from foreign countries, whether refugees or immigration status. Tupac, I think that is subject to change. I do believe it is subject to change. I think part of that is due to I guess I really don't know what, but I do believe that that part of it is subject to change again. That was just a temporary deal as far as I know. I don't think it was meant to be permanent. I think it was just a quick solution to an immediate problem. Let me check out this video right quick.
Donald Trump has tweeted that he will no longer deal with the British ambassador after leaked memos showed that Britain's most senior diplomat in the US had called the president inept. Let's head over to Alex for more on this one.
Bell, an escalating diplomatic spat, that's for sure. Have a look at this tweet. This from Donald Trump. Going in to start with about Theresa May. We'll go through this. I've been very critical about the way the UK Prime Minister, Theresa May, handled Brexit. What a mess she and her representatives created. I told her how it should go, he says, but she ignored me. Then he goes on to say, I do not know the ambassador, meaning the British ambassador, but he's not well thought of in the United States. We will no longer deal with him. Extraordinary line there from a US president over Twitter, saying the good news for the wonderful United Kingdom is soon they'll have a new Prime Minister. And he's also saying, although we've had this great state visit, Donald Trump in the UK, he's saying, really, it was the Queen who stood out for him. So why is the US President saying he'll no longer deal with the British ambassador, laying into the British Prime Minister and praising the Queen? Let's just rewind ever so slightly. It goes back to this front page. The Mail on Sunday, a newspaper in the UK, got its hands on leaked memos in which the British ambassador appeared to say that Donald Trump was inept. That led Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, to face questions about whether she would sack him. She said, no, we will not sack him. He remains, the British ambassador retains my confidence. This, it would seem, has prompted Donald Trump's unprecedented swipe at the Prime Minister, and really this has got a lot of people reacting. First of all, Nigel Farage in defence of Donald Trump against Kim Darroch, that is the British ambassador, who those memos leaked featured quotes from him, saying Kim Darroch is totally unsuitable for the job. But then you've got other people like Emma Kennedy, a journalist in the UK, speculating about the timing of all this and what it could mean politically. It's odd, this Darroch business. An ambassador's job is to give unfettered assessment, warts and all. Their communiques aren't supposed to be leaked. The story here is who leaked them and why. And it's quite clear this row is going to continue.
Damn. I haven't even got that far into it yet. Trump is written as a racist buffoon, and AOC and Ilhan Omar written as uppity American haters. CNN, NBC, etc. love Trump because he means more ratings, more commercials, meaning more money. The only problem is those they continue to lose ratings and they continue to lose sponsors. Yeah. Yeah, we don't believe in mainstream media around here. We really don't. The reason being is because of the fact that we understand it's all about ratings. I understand perfectly well, Mayonnaise, that the issue was back in the early 90s. News became entertainment. It was no longer a settlement of getting factual stuff for, because if you report. When you reclassify as entertainment, the FCC gives you words like my opinion, our thought, we think, it has been stated, all things to break liability. Do you know that reporting, that if you make yourself an actual reporter, that there's actually laws against publishing lies? So you reclassify as an entertainment syndicate. This happened back in the early 90s when entertainment syndicates bought out all main news. They're going to tell you whatever they have to tell you. Look at CNN. CNN, for 2.5 years, reported on Russian collusion, going as far as calling Trump a Russian operative, only to be found out by the Mueller report that there was no collusion. So, I mean, we definitely understand on this channel that mainstream media is all about ratings. It's all about getting You know, we understand that, but the commentary is funny sometimes. It's funny to listen to, you know, because they do get politicians on there who speak their mind. They do get attorneys. They do get educated people on there. Oh, I understand it goes deeper than that. But the thing is I'm not a big conspiracy theory person. You know, it's things that you have to be able to prove. You can't just put allegations out there, and you can't just put things out there that you believe. You know, you also have to look at the factual basis, things that are written. You have to look at politicians' actual voting records. You have to look at what people are actually trying to do. You know, you take Joe Biden. Everybody's like, well, Joe Biden's a front runner for the Democrats. That's great. But look at his voting record compared to what he's saying. Look at Jerry Nadler. Look at his voting record compared to what he's saying. Look at where he was at in Bill Clinton's impeachment assessment to where he is with Donald Trump's impeachment assessment. You know, we don't have to look at media. Media just gives us a way to dig into things and look. You know, you continue to do this stuff, and I mean, truthfully, it's like this. You can, I believe none of what I hear, half of what I see, until I research it myself. I can tell you this, by far, the policies and things that Donald Trump has tried to propose and impose in this country, everything that I've seen thus far is the act of a patriot, the act of what our founding fathers would have done, for the most part. There's some Second Amendment arguments that I would have with him. I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump does or everything that Donald Trump says, but I do agree with the mass majority of it. I am labeled a constitutionalist because I believe in the Constitution as it was written and not as it is interpreted. The Constitution defines man's natural rights. Things are written in the Constitution to protect man's natural rights. So, one of the biggest problems that we have in this country, the founding fathers were men, imperfect and human. But here's the thing. It was a council of many men. It wasn't just a man. It was a council of many men. And everything had to be voted on unanimously in order for it to be in the Constitution of the United States. It had to have unanimous vote in order to be written into the Constitution, which means everybody had to agree. They even wrote things in the Constitution to protect the country from them. In my opinion, and I will say this, my opinion and what I believe, the Constitution is very much a perfect document in the way it was written. The times in which it was written may not have been perfect, but the way it is written to be a long-standing law of the land. For the entire, for this country in its entirety, throughout eternity, that is the way it is written. If you read the Constitution in a whole and how it is written, my favorite first three words of the Constitution, we the people, does not say we the government. See, Democrats got people thinking that the government is the answer. The government is the way to take care of the people. That the government can regulate things and it'll be a hell of a lot better. So, when you take all the stuff that Democrats have done over the years to gain control of the American people. And it's proven. It's majority. All government is involved in this, but the mass majority of it has always been the Democratic Party. The mass majority of it has been the Democratic Party. The constant cause of separation, identity politics, and things like that have always been the Democratic Party. My favorite is it's gone from big oil to corporations, but if you look into the background of most Democrat politicians and most businesses, you look at the biggest corporations in America. They send donations to Democrats. Everybody's like, oh, Republican big oil. Big oil became a big issue because the Bush family was in office, and their family money comes from oil. Do you know that big oil barely makes the top 10 of largest businesses in the United States? Barely makes it. Tupac, I agree with you 100%. People have no idea what it's like in a country without a constitution. I had a man in my house from Haiti. And I explained to him, I said, media portrays it that you and I aren't supposed to like each other. You're supposed to perceive me as racist because my name is Redneck. And that I have Donald Trump on my back wall. You're supposed to perceive me as racist. And I'm supposed to look at you at the color of your skin or because you're from another country that I'm not supposed to like you. But here you stand in my house. I don't have a problem with you. You came here legally. I welcome you. You're welcome in my home anytime you want to come over. Cold beer in the fridge. I got booze to drink. I can always whip something up on the grill. You're always welcome here. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care where you came from. My birthright as an American is still a privilege to me. Even though I'm giving constitutional rights, and anybody else, such as Tupac, who's come here from New Zealand and is a U.S. citizen, we are a privileged country. And even though people on Capitol Hill don't understand that, their whole deal is to oppress. It is what it is. But me, I stand on the one thing that has stood the test of time. The United States Constitution. Right. Tupac, I actually have friends who it took them almost 20 years. I have Mexican friends that took them almost 20 years to get their citizenship. But they did it. They worked. One friend of mine, his mom immigrated here with him. Immigrated here. It took her 15 years to get citizenship for her and her kids. 15 years. He worked his ass off. Worked 25 years in with a company. In the meantime, because they came here, they didn't get a handout. They got a hand up. He says, I'll tell you flat out. He said, we've had to go and get welfare and things like that. And the thing is now he's a business owner. owns 2 separate businesses, works his ass off every day, still while working for the company to make sure he has his retirement, but also has something to pass on down to his kids. I've also talked to other gentlemen. Okay. I talked to another gentleman who told me flat out, he said, when I came to this country, he said, I didn't have nothing. He said, I refused to work for some very dangerous people. I refused to be a mule. And we ran. And we came here. We sought asylum. He said, we came here, yes, we had to get on welfare. We had to receive government benefits. But he said, as soon as I could get on my own feet, as soon as my family could get on our feet, we quit accepting those benefits. We stood on our own 2 feet, and they said we could still get them. And he said, I didn't want to do that. He said, I wanted to be an American. I wanted to work side by side with the people that I worked. He said, he said, yeah, I caught a lot of criticism because of the fact that I wasn't from here. And that's unfortunate. But it doesn't matter where you go in the world. I will tell you this, America is not the exclusive country for racism. You can go anywhere in the world as an American, white, black, Latino, whatever, just being an American, you will find prejudices fall against you. Does it justify it? Absolutely not. In some countries, you look at the LG2QKYZ community, the stuff that they talk about, they don't understand that in a lot of other countries they would be killed. They don't understand how privileged they are, and when they sit here and scream about how shitty America is and how America oppresses them, they don't understand in other countries they would be dead. I will never understand the rhetoric of some people. I will never understand the rhetoric of people like Ilhan Omar, who post maps of a world without Israel. Donald Trump made a simple statement. If you don't like America, you are free to leave. He said, why don't you go back to your countries, fix them countries, and come back and tell us how you did it. But until then, don't tell us how to fix ours. Don't come here and criticize ours. Don't criticize the United States for being the United States. We took you in. We gave you a home. A place where you could voice your opinions. A place where you could be you and be safe. Outside of Sharia law. Outside of, dictatorship and racism. But then you come here and you criticize our veterans. You criticize our national security. You criticize our president. You criticize our Congress. You disrespect the very people that took you in. Had enough. And that's exactly it. You've got these politicians from California, houses the richest city in the United States, but is also the most bankrupt state in the Union. You have people going out of their droves of thousands. Senator Ted Cruz says, come here. We'll help you start your businesses again. Come here. We'll help you out. I got a dog in my house. His name is Al. Most of y'all have met Al. Al is our mixed Bashan. He was a rescue dog. Al came from an abusive situation. And bringing Al into my house, he was very timid, very scared. Did not know did not know that he was in a safe place, and it took him a while to realize that. Okay. The thing is we didn't know that Al was scared of brooms. So Lolly picked up a broom one day to sweep in our other house, to sweep the hardwood floor, and Al took off running. He was a puppy, a very small puppy. And he ran all the way upstairs underneath our bed. So I went to go get Al from underneath the bed. Al bit me. That's a no-no in my house. Al got punished. You know what Al has never done? Never bit me again. We play. You know, he does the whole, you know, latch onto your hand, but he will never break the skin again. He messes around, he has fun, and he does it without fear of being hurt. He does it without fear of abuse. He doesn't run and shy away at the sight of a broom being picked up anymore. He barks at some of the dumbest shit in the world, but hey, nobody's perfect. Al is a member of my house. People say, well, what does that have to do with anything? When most people would have gotten rid of a dog at first bite. We kept him. We nurtured him. We loved him. We showed him that he had a home. Okay? That's what we did. And we trained him. It's not to say it doesn't go without issues. Al doesn't like going outside when it's snow on the ground. And he doesn't like it when the grass is wet. So sometimes he likes to pee on the furniture. So then we have to put him in the kennel. And we do that for a while, and he knows he's screwed up. Some people come to this country, and they experience the freedoms that they've never experienced before. And then they start lashing out. Sometimes those people need to be put in check. People like Ilhan Omar need to be put in check. People need to quit burying their head in the sand when it comes to her. People need to start speaking out. She needs to realize where she came from and where she's at now. Quit trying to turn our country into the shithole you came from. Plain and simple. To people like Nancy Pelosi, quit trying to turn our country into California. America got too complacent with just turning their heads and ignoring things. If you ignore it, it'll go away. We've gotten too complacent with that. We've gotten entirely way too complacent with that. We need to quit doing that. A man was given, with the Constitution protects a citizen's right to speak their mind. But sometimes people need to be reminded where they came from and where they're at. You know, AOC, before she became a politician, was a bartender who was barely making ends meet. And now she's living the high life, flying on private jets. Doing what she wants to do, living life, having the best of everything. Even getting so greedy that she took her campaign funds and moved them over to a bullshit charity and got away with it. And people just buried their heads in the sand. Ilhan Omar did the same thing. And people just buried their heads in the sand. Oh my God, she got held accountable. She had to pay back $1,200 or $1,600, whatever it was. Something like that. It wasn't very much. But then they missed the big point. The fact that she married her brother to get here illegally. The fact that she falsified college documents and got free schooling from North Dakota State University. Did all this to come here and violate immigration laws to be here. And in a true Minnesota fashion, we prop her up to be the poster child of Minnesota. And she's done nothing but disrespect Minnesota. She's done nothing but disrespect the United States in a whole. At what point in time do not only the American people, but the people of Minnesota say enough is enough? I'm tired of being perceived as racist because my name is Redneck. I'm tired of being perceived as racist because I'm white. I'm tired of perceived of being homophobic because I'm straight. I'm tired of being perceived as xenophobic because I'm Christian. I'm tired of all these things. I will speak out about it. And I don't care. I deal with the consequences as they come. I support our commander-in-chief, and I always respect the office of the presidency. I did not agree with very much at all that Barack Obama ever did, but I always respected the fact that he was the president. And here's the thing. It is what it is. This is my opinion. This is my channel. I also have been doing this there's no way to do this, Art. Literally, we are so far down a wormhole. The only way you can climb back out of this, there's not a policy that you put in place. This is something that people have to do within themselves. This is the part of people educating themselves. Okay, people have to educate themselves. And that's the hardest part people will never do. They'd rather sit around their TVs and their phones and believe whatever comes across it. You have to educate yourselves. We have to quit falling for the lies of people who are in office. You have Kamala Harris up there right now and Joe Biden talking about reparations, slavery reparations. Who's going to pay for that? Who decides who gets paid and who doesn't get paid? And that's the thing, Art. Art. I keep calling you Art, and it's ARF. Anyways, here's the thing. One of the biggest proponents I am is about people educating their kids and educating themselves, because American history, as it is written in history books, is a fucking bullshit. It's lies. Anything that is not full truth is a lie. Okay, the truth of the matter is this. When it comes down to it, if people are not willing to educate themselves, are not willing to learn true American history, again, yes, slavery was in this country when it was founded, voted on by 3 states to keep it. 3 states to keep it. That was it. Less than 30%, but everything had to be done unanimously. But if you look at the attached documents to the Constitution of the United States, before the Revolutionary War started, we were sending letters to the king to abolish slavery in this country. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in these people who go to school to become politicians. I'm disappointed in the people who are set forth to represent the American people, and they represent their own interests, and that's on both sides of the party line. It doesn't matter which side of the party line. It's like you stand here and you tell me that you're going to come here and help me make more money. You're going to help me with my taxes. You're going to help me have a better life and get Uncle Sam's hand out of my pocket. You stand at my doorstep and you tell me this, and I vote for you. And then you go and you take your happy ass up to Capitol Hill, and you vote for everything opposite of what you tell me. I've got local politicians in my area that don't like me. Marv Calvin has told more than one person. The mayor of the city of Willmar, Minnesota, has told people that I'm full of shit. But yet I can prove that Marv Calvin in his little inner circle, I can prove this hands down. Marv Calvin won't have a sit down with me. All right, y'all, I'm going to have to let you go. That is my son calling, and I need to get on the road. So tune in tonight. I will be back on tonight. I love you all to death. Thank you very much.